Welcome. Today's webinar is on what's new in Moodle 3.3. I'm very excited to share some of the new features with you, and there's a lot of exciting things. My name is Dr. Tammy Frame. I'm the Chief Education Officer at eClass for Learning. This is my contact information. We are recording today's webinar, and anybody that signed up will get a follow-up email probably tomorrow with the link to the recording. So if you weren't able to join us live, you will get a copy of the recording. eClass for Learning is a full solutions e-learning provider. We have several LMS solutions that we help people with. We do course development for organizations. We do a lot of professional development on best uses for learning of different software. We provide e-commerce solutions for those of you that are trying to sell courses. We do hosting. We can help you market your courses. And we also do training on the platforms that we provide. Some of you that are signed up for today are customers, some are not. eClass for Learning does upgrades a little bit differently than other companies. First of all, they're free, but we don't mass upgrade everybody. Clients can request an upgrade anytime they want. We just did a whole bunch for 3.3. Usually twice a year, we contact the clients and see if that's something that they'd be interested in. We feel that it's important to schedule that and make sure that all the plugins, the themes, everything will work for you, and that it happens at a time that you're aware of and is good for your end users. So maybe it's in the middle of the night or a weekend or around a holiday, so that you have minimal downtime. And usually upgrades aren't that tough to do. So if you are a customer and you need some help knowing what version you're on or want to talk about an upgrade after today, we'd be happy to do that. If you are not a client, we also do technical support blocks for people that have Moodle and maybe host elsewhere, and we can do an upgrade for you as well. So if you have questions about that, just feel free to contact me. Today we're using Zoom as our webinar platform, and you do have the ability to put in questions in the chat, and I really welcome those. It makes the webinar a lot more fun and interactive, so please feel free to do that as you have questions. If there's a question that I don't know the answer to, I will work on that and maybe give that in the follow-up email. So yeah, feel free to put those in. Okay, with that, we're going to get started on some of the new features that are in Moodle 3.3. So the first one is that there is better Office integration. So for a while there has been Google single sign-on. Now you can have Microsoft single sign-on. There's actually, you can even do Facebook or thousands of other sites if you wanted to. Now, one word of caution on that is when you do this, you want to make sure you do it in a secure way and that maybe users are already authenticated and on your site. Otherwise, if you don't do it correctly, people could single sign on even without authenticating. So that's an important note to make sure that you do this in a secure way, but that is available. What's nice too is the user can link different logins if the site administrator has enabled those things. So for example, when the user clicks on their picture in the upper right hand and they can go to preferences, there's an area that says linked logins, and they can, whatever's been approved by their site admin, so maybe the Google log single sign-on is, you can see right in their profile what they've linked and how they can log in to make that a little bit easier. Yeah, and if you need help with that, let us know. We'd be happy to help. We've done that on many of our sites. Okay, another thing that is new is the improved dashboard. And I'm actually going to go to our live 3.3 demo site to kind of show that. If I go to my dashboard here, you can kind of see. So it looks a little bit cleaner. It shows you the percentage of your progress on the course. If these are usually ones I'm teaching, if I had any things that needed to be graded, that would show up here. If I were a student and I had upcoming assignments, those would show up. I can see in the progress, the future or past, and a timeline of things of upcoming activities due. And in my demo, I don't really have any today, but that can be very handy for both teachers and students in organizing their life. And I think it's visually very nice. So that's another nice feature. All right, let's go back to presentation mode here. There are new icons, and those are sort of important for accessibility. There is more contrast to them, and so I'll read specifically in my notes what standards these meet. But that helps visually impaired users meet the AAA accessibility standards. And they're just more higher contrast and easier to read. And it looks a little cleaner too. So you'll see that the icons are a little bit different. I'm sure everybody on the call has been waiting for this, the emoji support. So if you want to add those little icons in, and that would be, for example, in forums or in labels or things that students type, they can add those now. And I think that can help with engagement and make the platform more modern a little bit. So that is available. Now for teachers, when they set up assignments, there is a settings that they can set or enable if they want to that sends them a reminder or a notification, and it would show up on their dashboard as well, that if they need to go in and grade things by a certain due date, or they want to make sure everything's graded and they just want notifications and reminders, the teacher can set that up. The teacher can also designate now, there's a setting when they do an assignment of what kinds of file types. Moodle accepts a whole bunch of them, but if you wanted to say that it has to be a PDF, for example, or you want to limit it to a certain one that you know that you as a teacher can open or is in the syllabus of what you require, you can now pick those out and limit it. Okay. This means that if you are doing comments on assignments, and I'll demo this live in a minute, and if you're not, you might want to consider it. Those comments can now be collapsed so that it's a little bit more readable and people can click on them, read them, and put them out away. So for a while now, if I go back here, and we'll go to my courses in progress. There has been the ability to comment directly on student submissions, okay, but it has to be a PDF. So here I have an assignment set up and I can view my submissions. And let's say I want to grade this one, okay. What will happen, and I think this is really slick, is you can use all of these tools right up here to work on the students to give them comments. And then you can grade in this menu, and you can even have a rubric attached and have an electronic portfolio if you wanted to. But let's say I want to add a comment. I can put that here. And then in the new version, it automatically collapses so that it isn't so overwhelming to read. And then you can click on these and then they expand. So that's just kind of a nice feature. And again, if you're not using the Moodle feedback thing with annotated PDF assignments, I'd encourage you to try it out. It makes things a lot slicker. I know way back in the past, people sometimes would download student work, make comments, and upload. This can be all done very seamlessly and can save the teacher a lot of time. So I would recommend that. Okay. Next one. Better activity completion management. So in the past, you had to set, and completion management, if you're not familiar with Moodle or you're newer to it, is when the system is checking off or the student is checking off if things are completed. Typically, in my courses, I, whenever possible, have the system do that. Well, when I add these things, typically I have to set them one by one. Well, now we can bulk do that. So let me show you how that's done. That can save the teacher or the instructional designer quite a bit of time. So let me go back to my course. And in the course admin, when you're the teacher or the site admin in a course, you click on course completion options. And here are my course completion options where I've defined how the system will know if a course is complete. But now we have two new tabs in Moodle 3.3. We have default activity completion and bulk activity completion. So if I wanted to have the default for something changed, so let's say I want the default for all assignments changed. I can click that that's what I want to work on. I go to my edit. And now, right now, I have students can manually mark that the activity is completed. That is the default. If I want to save time, and I know that I want the system to track it, I'm going to pick Show Activity as Complete when conditions are met. I want them to view it, and they must submit it, and I could even say that they have to get a certain grade to complete it. And then I can save those changes. So now, whenever I add an assignment, that's going to be the default, and that can save me time if I know that that's most often how I want all my assignments in this course to work. Now let's say I want to change a whole bunch of them at once. This used to be very time consuming because you'd have to go into each one and change it. So here, kind of the same concept, I can find the types of things in here that I have in my course. So let's say that I want this one and this one and this one to all have the same way of marking completion. Then I go to edit, and then I'm going to say that they have to view it and they must receive a grade to complete it. And that's how I'm going to change all three of those in one shot. So now I can do a bulk activity as opposed to having to go to edit and do each one. So that can save the instructor and the course designer a lot of time. So I welcome that change too. I know I will use it in my courses. Okay. There was drag and drop for images, so you can actually just drag them right in and they drop right into their course. Now they've added sound and video can be just dragged and dropped, so that can save time and make things a little more slick. You can also still do it the old school way of uploading. But when you drag it in, you get this box that says add media to course page, or do you want me to create a file and a folder and put this inside of that folder with a whole bunch of resources. So you have that option now too, so it makes it a little bit quicker, again, for that course designer or instructor. Okay, stealth activities. This is kind of neat. I know that our instructional designer, Sue, uses this a lot. So in the past, sometimes you want to really avoid that scroll of death, and you don't want lots of things on that front page. So sometimes a good way to do that is to create internal pages in your Moodle site and link the activities. And that also allows the instructor to maybe visually design it nicer with pictures, and maybe step 1, I want you to do this, step 2. And the activities actually reside somewhere else, but they are linked on a page, and you can organize it and make it look however you want. So in this example, these quizzes are available, but they're not displayed on the course page. And when the students go to the revision quiz list, then they see a link to each one. And so it's just sort of an instructional design way that we did it. So in the past, the way that we did as a workaround to kind of get that effect is we would do a hidden topic, and we would hide the topic but keep the activities live in there. Well, they've made this a little bit easier to do now, and they're calling it stealth activities. So I can demo the new way to do this if you're interested and you use this feature. Let's go here to this assignment right now. If I didn't want it to show up here, but I want maybe it on a page or linked somewhere else, I can now go to Edit and Hide, which we could do before. But once you hide it, now I can make it available. And it says available, but not shown on course page. And then what will happen is I can grab that link and link it to a page or a label or somewhere else in the course. So that's kind of nice for course designers that were using that and kind of using a workaround. Again, it saves time. It makes, just gives you more instructional design features. There are more areas where you can tag things. Let me get to my notes so I can list them all. So tagging allows you to search, and you don't have to tag things, but now we can tag the glossary. We can tag, let's see what else I have here. Forum posts, book chapters can be also tagged now, and then that makes them searchable. So that's another instructional design thing that can help. Okay, like we talked about before, there are more authentication methods that have been added. So you can now have authenticate through your Google G Suite or your Microsoft Office accounts. Okay, and if you are a client of ours, we can help you with that too. A lot of our clients use that right now. So if you're not and you want to, we can do it. Also, there are 2 new plugins. One is called the Google Drive, and one is called Uno Convert. And what these do is, if you want them installed, and again, we can do that for our clients, they will convert things to a format that the instructor wants. So if you were using that annotated PDF, let's say, that I was showing before, well, they have to upload a PDF for you to annotate a PDF. And if they're getting something from their Google Drive or their Microsoft Office cloud account, then it wouldn't be in a PDF. Well, what these 2 plugins do is the teacher can say, I want anything that they turn in on the assignment converted to whatever format they want, say PDF. And then these will automatically take things from Microsoft Office or from Google Drive and convert them to the teacher's specs. And then that works really nice for universality. For example, one of our clients is a university, and they have a strong education program, masters, and teachers from all different districts. And so a lot might be using Drive, but maybe that instructor doesn't have a Google account set up, and so it can kind of make everything universal for the instructor, and then they can easily put comments on it. And it makes it easy for students to upload things from like a Google Doc, for instance. Okay, so those might be two good plugins for you to consider. Let's see what else we have. Oh, and this is our last one, which I'm very excited about. I'm still trying to figure it out. In Moodle 3.3, Inspire Learning Analytics is a plugin. But in 3.4, which is out, it's part of the core. And this is very next generation learning analytics, so I'm still trying to learn about it. And I think in the future, we will do a webinar on this as we learn more about it. But what happens is there are a whole bunch of things that it measures, and you can configure it as well if you don't like what it's picking up. But it's going to look at the student's cognitive presence, their social presence, and the teacher presence. So it has all of these different indicators that it's looking at, a huge list. And then you decide how often you want that run. And then it only works, I should add, in courses that have a start date and an end date. If you have rolling enrollments where people can join at any time, this isn't going to work for that course, but it will for courses that have end dates and start dates. Then in the course itself, the instructor will now have an Inspire report. And it will identify, according to those three factors, students that it, based on its analytics, they feel are at risk of dropping out, okay? And again, it's measuring against their cognitive presence, their social presence, and the teacher presence. And it will highlight those. And then the student or the teacher has different actions. For example, they can email them. And there are other things the teacher can do. So it's to be proactive. Imagine if you have many sections of courses you're teaching and many, many students. This could be a very helpful tool in helping to know who might be struggling in your online courses. Because again, when you're teaching online, you can't see them. And this kind of looks at their online learning behavior and who might be at risk and who you might want to intervene with and who you might want to help. So I think this is going to be really interesting as it moves forward to see how this is useful. The community, the Moodle community, is very interested in getting feedback on it. It's pretty new. If anybody's using that, put in the chat if you've used it and what your feelings are on it. That would be really interesting to me too. Those are the new features of Moodle 3.3. Nobody's put any questions right now, so if you think of some in the final minutes, feel free to put that in the chat. I just want to mention our upcoming webinars that we have coming up. Today was Moodle 3.3. If you go to www.eclassforlearning.com and click on our webinars page, we have 3 that are scheduled coming up. The next one would be for people that are interested in selling courses online. We have helped with e-commerce solutions, and we have some that are fairly robust. This one is very easy to set up and very easy to do, and we just became a partner with LMS Checkout. What happens is you get an online store that's very easy to manage and very nice, and then when people purchase a course, they're automatically enrolled in your Moodle course. What's nice about this one too is that when you make your store, if you already have a website and you don't want a different online store, you can embed any of the parts of the LMS store that you create in your portal onto your existing website too, which I think is kind of a neat thing to do. And so it has a lot of neat features. And if this one doesn't fit out, we have a couple other solutions too. But what I liked is the ease of use of this one, and the ease to set up and the ease to manage it. So that one, if you're trying to sell courses, you can also have things that are not online courses in your store as well, in that one too. The next one I'm also very excited about. Moodle doesn't have the best reporting. There are some nice embedded reports, but it doesn't have everything that you might want. And I think this learner analytics is an interesting one. But again, the way that Moodle reports work is they're the ones that the system has designed for you. So if I go up here, and let me go to my dashboard, and let's just kind of look. There are course reports, and then there are site reports. And if I went to the site admin, and you can also do this under course admin, and you go to reports, you can see the reports that you have available to you through Moodle. And those are decided upon and exist in the core. You can also use ad hoc reports, which is a plugin that we use a lot. And if you happen to know MySQL and you can program in that, you can add scripts and create your own reports. And that's another service that eClass for Learning does. And we often create custom reports for people. And then that ad hoc report that we create shows up in the report list. But it is kind of a pain to have to hire us to program for you and to make it. And we go in the database, find the object names, and line that all up for you. Well, Zula, what it does is it's a drag and drop report builder, and it works really slick. Anything in the database, anything that exists that data is collected on, you have access to, and you can drag and drop and create your own reports with no programming required. So it's really easy to use. And then those reports can be embedded in the system anywhere you want. So if you wanted to have a page with a report or a block, or if you wanted it scheduled, that's another thing. If you wanted maybe the provost in your organization to get a report on different things on different courses every month and have that emailed to them, to you. You can have that scheduled. So it really opens up the reporting to get the data that you want to get. So that one we are partner for. We're very proud too. We are the first partner of Zula. It was developed in Canada and the United States. So they're excited that we're their first partner in the United States too. The next one is Salesforce. If your organization uses Salesforce as your CRM, you can now use it like a student information system. You can have it where you have groups set up, and it can enroll groups into different courses. Also, the course completion data and grades comes back into the user profile, and it shows what they're currently working on and what grades they got, and it's all in one place. The other nice thing is now you can use Salesforce reporting, which has different filters that you can apply and pull down and create your own reports in Salesforce about learners. So a lot of people that use Salesforce heavily have been asking for this, so we are also a partner on that. So we're excited to continually grow and have new tools that can help our clients with their tool set, and we hope that you will join us on one of these. We are always also looking for suggestions of any webinars of things that you would like for us to do coming up. So we will email you what those are, but if you have ideas, please send them to me as well. That's where we often get our best webinar ideas. And with that, I didn't see any questions. You guys were a quiet group. Let me check my chat. Nobody? Okay. And if you think of any after the webinar, feel free to send them my way. It's going to be exciting to start using some of these new features that exist in the new system. And thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Bye-bye.